Modeling everyday items is a great way to practice and improve your SolidWorks skills. A really common model that lots of users try to create is a coffee cup. For the most part, a basic coffee mug is a really easy thing to model, but sometimes new users get tripped up when creating the handle and blending it back into the mug. Now, there are lots of different ways you can go about doing this. Let me show you one nice approach. I'll begin by creating a new part file. While you could use an extruded boss feature to create the mug body, let's use a revolve instead. I'll start a sketch on the front plane. I'll sketch a vertical line extending up from the origin. This will control the height of the mug. Next, I'll sketch two horizontal lines extending out from the endpoints of the vertical line. These will be the upper and lower radius of the mug. If you use the click-drag method for creating the lines, you can create them all without having to exit and relaunch the tool. Now, I can create a spline to connect the two endpoints. I'll choose the vertical line for my axis of revolution, and I'll set the end condition to blind at 360 degrees. Next, I'll use a shell feature to hollow out the mug. I'll enter 0.125 in the parameters and select the top face to be removed. And under the multi-thickness settings, I'll select the bottom and set that value to 0.25. And I can click the check to complete the shell feature. So far, so good. Before creating the handle, let's add a fillet to the top face of the mug. I'll activate the fillet feature and select the full round fillet option. I'll use the outside face, top face, and inside face, and click the green check to finish the fillet. Now, onto the handle. Now there are a couple of techniques we can use. We can either create a simple extruded boss and use fillets to smooth the transitions to the mug body, or we can use a sweep and some lofts to blend the handle into the mug. Now I think the sweep and lofts lead to better results, and it's just a little bit more elegant way of modeling, so let's use that approach. I'll begin a new sketch on the right plane. So what I'll do here is create a spline off in space in the shape of the handle I want. Once I've finished that, I'll exit the sketch. Next, for the profile of the sweep, I'd like the sketch for this to be oriented normal to the end of this spline, so I'll create a new reference plane. I'll use the spline and one of its endpoints to define the plane. On the new plane, I'll start a sketch and sketch a circle with its center point coincident with the end of the spline. I chose a circle for simplicity, but this can be any shape you like. Now, I can exit the sketch and create the sweep. The circle will be the profile, and the spline will be the path. This gives us both the mug body and the handle body. All that's left is blending them together. To create the loft, I'll need to create some profiles for the mug side of the transition. So I'll begin by creating a sketch on the front plane, and I'll switch the display style to hidden lines visible, so I can see the handle. Let's use an ellipse for the transition shape. I'll create the ellipse using the same center point as the sweep circle. And I'll exit the sketch. Next, I'll repeat the process for the bottom of the handle. With the ellipse sketches created, I can change the display style back to shaded with edges. Now for the fun part. We need these elliptical shapes to become curves on the mug body itself. That way the loft goes all the way up to the mug. To do this, I'll go to Insert, Curve, Split Line. I'll choose the projection option and choose the ellipse and the outer face of the mug body. I'll also activate the single direction checkbox. Notice the arrow in the graphics area. Make sure this is pointing toward the handle. If it's not, use the reverse direction checkbox to flip it around. Again, I'll repeat this for the bottom ellipse. Now all that's left is creating the loft features. I'll launch the Loft tool and select the split line and the end face of the handle sweep. I'll set the start and end constraints to either tangent to face or curvature to face to give the loft some curvature. You can also add and adjust the connectors to have even more control over the shape you want for the blend. And, when it looks good, click the check. To finish the mug up, I'll just add another loft to the bottom of the handle. Now you can go on and add some fillets to smooth out the edges, put a cut into the bottom of the mug, or any other details you'd like to add to the model.